When she stepped out of the hotel, the sun caught her face just right, warm, radiant, carefree. She looked happy, lighter somehow. Her hair danced in the breeze, her lips curved into that familiar, practiced smile. I'd seen that same expression 1,000 times before. The difference now was that I knew what it really meant. Across the street, from the tinted window of my car, I watched her adjust her coat and wave goodbye to the man still standing in the hotel doorway. He didn't try to hide. He just smiled, almost proud, before disappearing back inside. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. My chest felt tight, like someone had pressed a fist against it. I'd seen enough. She had no idea that every second of her afternoon was already uploading to a cloud drive under my name. No idea that the same hidden camera she thought was just a hotel smoke detector had captured her betrayal from start to finish. This wasn't supposed to happen. 2 weeks earlier, I'd been the kind of husband who still believed in second chances. We'd been through a rough patch, arguments about money, late nights at work, her sudden girls' trips. But she'd sworn there was nothing going on. I'd wanted to believe her so badly that I almost convinced myself the doubts were my fault. Until that night at dinner when her phone buzzed. She grabbed it before I could see the screen, smiled faintly, and said, "Just work stuff." I'd seen the corner of a name before she flipped it over. Eli. She didn't work with anyone named Eli. That was when the idea took hold, something dark and quiet. I reached out to an old friend, a security consultant, and within a few days I had what I needed. Tiny cameras, a hidden GPS tracker, and an app that fed live footage straight to my laptop. I hated myself for doing it, but the alternative, blind trust, felt unbearable. I told myself I was just protecting my sanity. The first few days showed nothing unusual. She went to work, came home, texted her sisters, made dinner. Then Thursday came. She said she had a client meeting across town. I watched the GPS dot move to the Crestview Hotel. That was how I ended up here, parked in silence, watching the woman I loved walk into a hotel with another man. The footage confirmed what I already knew but didn't want to face. Their hands brushed as they walked through the lobby. They rode the elevator together. One camera, discreetly placed above the doorframe of her own room weeks earlier, showed them stepping inside. She laughed. He kissed her. And she didn't pull away. I stopped watching after that. Now, sitting in my car as she left the hotel, I felt nothing. No screaming, no shaking, no tears, just a hollow, numb quiet. Betrayal, I realized, isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the silence that crushes you. When she finally drove off, I didn't follow her home. I went back to my office instead, shut the door, and opened the live feed one last time. The files were still uploading, one after another, time-stamped and labeled. Proof. That word echoed in my head. Proof. Proof that I wasn't paranoid. Proof that my instincts weren't wrong. Proof that the woman who'd sworn she'd never hurt me had done exactly that. By midnight, I'd made a copy of everything on an encrypted drive and sent it to my email. Insurance, I told myself. When I walked into our house the next morning, she was already in the kitchen, humming softly as she made coffee. She looked like herself again, hair up, no makeup, wearing my old sweatshirt. "Hey," she said, smiling. "You're up early." "Couldn't sleep," I replied. She glanced at me, concern flickering across her face. "Everything okay?" "Yeah," I said. "Just thinking." She handed me a mug, her fingers brushing mine. I wanted to pull away, but I didn't. I just looked at her, really looked at her. The same woman who once cried in my arms over losing her mother, who knew how I took my coffee without asking, who'd promised me forever. And now, standing there, I couldn't tell which version was real. Later that day, I called her from work. "Dinner tonight?" I asked, forcing a light tone. "Just us. Somewhere nice." She hesitated. "I'd love that," she said finally. "It's been a while." "7, I said. "The Italian place by the river." She agreed, and I hung up before I could hear the guilt in her voice. By the time she arrived that evening, everything was set. I'd sent a private link to her phone an hour earlier. No message, no context, just a link. We sat across from each other, candlelight flickering between us. She looked nervous, fidgeting with her napkin. You okay? I asked. She smiled. Yeah, just tired. Halfway through the meal, her phone buzzed. She picked it up, and I saw her expression change. Her smile froze. Her eyes widened. She stared at the screen, then at me. What is this? She whispered. I took a slow sip of wine. What does it look like? Her hand shook. Where did you get this? I could ask you the same thing, I said quietly. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. Tears filled her eyes. You spied on me. I laughed softly, the sound bitter. I gave you trust, and you spent it in a hotel room. It wasn't what you think, she said, voice trembling. Please, just listen. I've listened, I said. For months. Every excuse. Every lie. I'm done listening. She looked around, her breath quickening. You sent this to me, who else has it? I didn't answer. I wanted her to feel the same fear I'd felt, the same helpless panic. Did you send it to someone? She asked again, louder this time. Her voice cracked. She stood up, tears streaking her cheeks. You wouldn't. Wouldn't I? I said, my voice low. You left me wondering what was real. Maybe it's your turn. She stared at me, her expression breaking apart, then turned and walked out. I didn't follow. When I got home, her things were gone. The closet half empty, drawers cleared. There was a note on the counter. You've destroyed both of us. Maybe she was right. The footage had finished uploading days ago. It hadn't gone public, I wasn't that cruel, but I'd left it where it could. One shared folder, no password. Anyone who stumbled upon it could find everything. Every time I thought about deleting it, I couldn't. Some twisted part of me needed it there, a monument to what she'd done. Weeks passed. People stopped asking where she was. I told them we were taking space. Then one morning, I got an email. No sender, no subject. Just a single line. You should have deleted the footage when you had the chance. I froze. My stomach turned cold. I opened my laptop, heart racing, and clicked the link inside. The folder was empty. All the files, gone. But when I scrolled down, a new file appeared, freshly uploaded, titled For You. I clicked it. The video started with my own face, asleep in bed. Then a shadow moving in the doorway. The camera angle shifted slightly, like it was being adjusted by someone who knew exactly where it was. And then, her voice. Calm. Almost amused. Two can play this game, Daniel. The screen went black. For the first time since that day outside the hotel, I felt fear, not of what I'd seen, but of what I'd created. Because betrayal doesn't end when the truth comes out. Sometimes, it just finds a new target.